The Silent City, a dystopian sleep story. The world had changed long before you were born. Not in a single day, not in a single moment, but slowly, like a tide withdrawing from the shore. What had once been a planet filled with endless movement, glowing lights, and the hum of machines had grown quiet. Skyscrapers, once radiant beacons of glass and steel, stood now as hollow skeletons, their windows dark, their facades softened by ivy and creeping moss. Streets that had carried millions of lives forward now carried only the soft patter of rain and the whisper of wind. It was not a world of violence anymore, nor of chaos. That time had passed. What remained was a gentle stillness, as if the earth had taken a long breath after centuries of noise. You walked through the city at twilight. Your footsteps were muffled by carpets of moss that had claimed the old pavement. Grass grew tall through the cracks, swaying lightly in the breeze. Between the broken lines of the road, small flowers bloomed, pale and delicate, their faces turning upward to catch the fatting sun. The air smelled of rain and wild growth, not of smoke, nor of engines, nor of factories. Only the clean fragrance of earth reclaiming its place. The skyline before you was jagged, the silhouettes of towers fractured by time. Some leaned as if tired, their frames bent, while others stood upright, cloaked in ivy, their crowns touched by gold as the last light of day slipped behind them. Where neon signs had once flashed, only faint outlines remained, their colors long gone, leaving behind ghostly patterns on weathered walls. Birds wheeled overhead, their calls echoing in the emptiness. They had built nests high in the beams of broken towers, where no human hand disturbed them. Flocks darted together, dipping and rising, painting shifting patterns against the violet sky. You passed a crumbled bridge, its cables slack, its once mighty arches softened by time. Beneath it, water flowed gently, filling the silence with its endless murmur. The river had risen over the years, spilling into the streets, carving new paths where cars had once rushed. Fish darted through the water, flashing silver in the fatting light, while reeds bent at the edges, swaying to the river's song. The city, though broken, felt alive. Alive in a different way than before. Not with the restless energy of industry, but with the patient pulse of nature. Trees had rooted themselves where office desks once stood. Roots pressed through marble floors, lifting tiles one by one. Ferns spread in the shade of collapsed ceilings, and blossoms sprouted in the beams of sunlight that poured through shattered glass. You wandered past a library, its doors long fallen open. Inside, rows of shelves leaned crookedly, their books softened with age, their pages curled and fragile. Sunlight streamed through holes in the roof, illuminating motes of dust that floated lazily in the air, shimmering like tiny stars. Some of the books lay open on the floor, their words still visible, though faded. Stories that had once carried knowledge, dreams, and warnings now lay in quiet slumber, their voices hushed, but not gone. The hush was everywhere, not heavy, not sorrowful, but soothing. A hush that invited reflection, a hush that held no rush, no demand, no urgency. You walked onward, past a marketplace overgrown with ivy. The stalls had collapsed long ago, their wooden beams buried under vines. Between them, wildflowers bloomed, painting the square in soft purples, whites, and yellows. Bees hovered lazily from blossom to blossom, their buzzing a gentle hum in the air. A fox darted quietly across the square, pausing only to watch you before slipping silently into the shadows. Night began to settle over the silent city. The sky deepened to indigo, and the first stars blinked awake. Where once the sky had been drowned by the glow of endless lights, it now shone in its fullness. Stars scattered in every direction, countless, endless, steady. The moon rose pale and calm, casting silver light upon the ruined towers, turning them into ghostly sentinels that watched over the sleeping world. You found yourself standing before a building of glass, its walls fractured but still standing. Inside, vines draped from the ceiling, their tendrils swaying in the faint breeze. Pools of water reflected the stars through the broken roof. It was once a place of gathering, perhaps a station, perhaps a hall, but now it was a cathedral of quiet. Every sound was softened. Every shadow was gentle. You sat upon a stone, breathing in the cool air. The city seemed to exhale with you, and in that breath, you felt not loss, but peace. For the world had not ended, it had changed. The rush had stilled, the noise had faded, and what remained was space to rest. The night grew deeper, and the sounds of the world became slower still. The river whispered softly in the distance. An owl called from a high tower, its voice low and steady. The breeze rustled through the ivy, carrying the scent of earth and water. You closed your eyes, hearing it all the heartbeat of a world reborn in silence. And as you drifted into dreams, the city around you dreamed too, of what once was, of what now is, of what always will be, the steady, endless rhythm of rest. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe.